If you were redesigning your life, what would you keep and what would you let go of? Well, two of the best ways to achieve your goals are to write them down and to also share them with other people for accountability. So in this video, I'm going to be doing just that. It's the first time in more than 8 years on YouTube that I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what happened this year, the highs as well as the lows, my plans for the upcoming year, and also when I'll be finally leaving the US and where I'm going first. If you're new to the channel, I'm Kristin from Traveling with Kristin. I've been helping people move overseas for the last 20 years, and if you've been here for a while, welcome back. It's nice to have you on this journey with me. I also want to take a couple hints from Kara and Nate because I really love their end of the year videos, so I've included a few fun statistics from YouTube and travel to share with you here today. So let's get started. Since my channel is called Traveling with Kristin, where did I travel this year? Well, I would have to say it's been one of the slowest years for travel for me, which still means a lot of travel. According to my calculations, I have flown more than 82,000 miles, although I think I'm missing a few flights in there. That's apparently 3.3 times around the earth, or the equivalent of flying from New York to Tokyo 6 times. So that is a slow travel year for me, but some of the places that I went were first Amsterdam in April. So I went there for the King's Day celebration that I've never been to before. It was absolutely crazy. And I also went on an exploratory trip of the Netherlands that I made an entire series, like a YouTube playlist about that trip. So if you're thinking of moving to Europe or moving to the Netherlands especially, or planning an exploratory trip somewhere in the world, then you'll definitely want to check that out, and I'll link to everything I talk about in the video description. After that, I went to Colombia to visit some friends in an area called Restrepo, and this was a really cool place around Cali, so that's the closest, biggest city. And that was a really fun trip to just kind of feel very much in the Colombian countryside. I was definitely the only gringa around, and was just there with friends. We had a lot of fun, and I didn't go for work, but I did get to just kind of hang out with the local people, eat local food, and just explore the local lifestyle there. So that was definitely a highlight of the year. But then I went to Estonia to speak at the Wise Company conference, and this was one of the, I would say, it's hard to say, but probably my travel highlight of the year was going to Estonia to meet the team at Wise. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've been using this company and their online transfer accounts for more than 10 years at this point. Yeah, I started in 2012. So to be able to meet the people that worked at the company and speak to them on stage, I believe there were more than 3,000 employees there. That was a completely surreal experience, and I had so much fun. So I'll show you a few clips from that talk.
Who are your audience and what really matters to them when they're thinking about their money, in your experience?
Well, my audience is international, but about half are from the US and Canada. And I think one thing that everyone has in common is a love of travel and a curiosity about the opportunities that exist in the world today, and having a good lifestyle. People just want to have a good quality of life and explore other countries, immerse themselves in other cultures, meet new people. And along with that comes, you need money to travel, and you need to be able to access your funds and operate in the digital economy. After that, I went back to Colombia, went to Medellin, which is a very nice city. We had some people interested in relocating there this year, and maybe you've been there as well. It's a very top hotspot for digital nomads and retirees headed to Colombia. And then I also went to Ecuador for the first time. I did a little tour around Ecuador. I was actually playing some shows, which I'll talk about later in this video, about my kind of side hobby hustle career as a music artist. But during one of those events, there was actually a shooting at the venue, and that was the first time I've ever experienced a live shooting in person, and that was definitely the lowest point of my travels this year, the scariest moment I've probably ever had while traveling. I actually made a video about that as well. So definitely something that made me just grateful for each day and aware that anything can happen at any time, and just feeling very lucky that my friends and I got out of that one alive. So yeah, Ecuador, probably not a place I'll be going back to anytime soon, but I did have a really good time in Cuenca and also in Guayaquil, but the place where the shooting happened was in the capital of Quito during some political unrest. Not sure exactly what the story was behind that, but we made it out. Another place I went to a few times this year was Costa Rica, which was not for fun. It was not for work technically, but it was because I had tens of thousands of dollars of my life savings stuck in a bank account there. And it was a huge hassle that took me over a year to get most of it out. I still have $5,000 that I have to go back to get, which is like another story for another video, and probably even more coming hopefully after that. But I made, I think, 3 videos about that journey this year, so very entertaining and informative. Thank you for all of your comments on those videos, and I'll link to those below. Some fun trips I went to were Scottsdale, Arizona for a conference, like a business mastermind type of thing, so that was a nice little respite. And then also Las Vegas for the Formula 1 race. I went with my dad, and I went to visit my sister and my nephew, so that was a lot of fun. Also went out to California for my niece's birthday, and my sister and nephew came as well. So I just wanted to thank all of you who supported, commented, and donated to my sister's GoFundMe. I just posted an update a few days ago, and if you're not aware of that, if you're newer to the channel, then I also have a video about what happened there. Bit of a near-death experience with a mass shooting that happened at her workplace, and so just very thankful to be able to spend time with my family this year after something like that, and just being in the US and being close to them. It's been nice to spend time with them. And I actually went to 2 Formula 1 races with my dad. He used to be a bit of a recreational race car driver, and I grew up on racetracks. Little known fact. So Sebring, Daytona 500, Indianapolis, Indy cars. We used to have 2 Indy cars in our garage. So if you're a race fan, let me know in the comments, but that was a fun surprise for this year. And my last trip of the year was to Spain, which was specifically for work, for this YouTube channel, for my relocation clients. It's the first time that I've ever traveled to go visit my relocation clients after they moved to another country, because it's quite expensive to fly all around to different countries visiting people. But I was able to visit, technically it was 5 of our relocation clients on one trip, and we went from Madrid to Cordoba to Valencia to A Coruña, and shared, filmed with them their daily life, their quality of life, their cost of living, and we're going to share their stories with you here on the YouTube channel. So I'm really excited to share these mini documentaries with you about living in Spain, and let me know if there's any other countries that you would like me to visit this year, and also document our clients there. My biggest travel accomplishment this year was making it to Diamond Medallion on Delta for the first time. I've been a Delta frequent flyer with their travel credit cards since 2007. So it was really fun to get Diamond Medallion. I got a few upgrades this year, and I currently have 300,075 miles saved in my Delta Sky Miles bank that I'm hoping to put to good use this year. The favorite place that I visited throughout the entire year, it's really hard to choose one, but I'm gonna say it's a tie between Utrecht in the Netherlands that I visited on my exploratory trip, and also A Coruña in Spain. So what I really loved about Utrecht was just the vibe there. It's very relaxed. It's smaller than Amsterdam, but it still has all of the same amenities. It has the canals that the Netherlands is known for everywhere. So it was just so calming and enjoyable to walk around the cobblestone streets and the canals and see all of the boats going by in the springtime and the stand-up paddle boarders. And we had really nice mild weather while I was there, and I really could see myself living there actually. So that was one of my favorite places. And also A Coruña, which is in the northwest province of Spain, where I went to visit my clients Julian and Spencer and their dog Winnie. I can't wait to share that video with you. It was just completely stunningly, jaw-droppingly beautiful. I mean, we're walking around at sunset and just pinching ourselves at like, what is this? Where are we? And it wasn't crowded at all because it was December, so there weren't any tourists there, just local residents, and definitely a hidden gem. So if you're thinking of moving to Spain, then check that out and make sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss our A Coruña documentary. That's actually probably my top highlight of the year. My top travel highlight was getting to meet our relocation clients in person for the first time. That had to be the best thing ever. Just getting to go out to dinner with them, walk around town with them. Heather and Jake, and also Bob of one of our couples, Bob and Daphne. Daphne wasn't there in Valencia while we were there, but we got to hang out with Bob and walk around. So shout out to my clients who let me invade their personal space in their houses and interview them. And I'm really looking forward to visiting more of my clients in the next year once I'm over in Europe. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's talk YouTube. So my goal of how many videos to publish on YouTube this year was 50 videos. So about one video per week, plus maybe a week off here and there for a break or for the holidays. I only managed to publish 43 videos, so I did miss a few weeks there. In total, we received 5 million views. So thank you guys so much for watching my videos this year. And we welcomed 41,000 new subscribers to the channel, so that's incredible. So hello to everyone who joined this year, and also thanks for everyone who's been here over the past few years. I really appreciate you, and I'm starting to recognize like thousands of your names from the comments, so that's really cool. Oh, comments replied to 7,032 this year, and we hearted over 8,000 comments. So when you calculate that over the 8 years or so that I've been on YouTube, I know some of you comment on every single video, and so I see your names, and it's really amazing. So thank you so much. And I know also some of you don't comment at all, so that's okay as well. Just the fact that you're watching and that you're enjoying the videos and getting something out of it is also amazing. The top performing video of the year on my channel was the collapse of US tourism, and what that means with everyone leaving the US. And you might remember that from the news that was back in April. So far it's received 358,000 views. So that was a big topic, and I think I had a pretty interesting take on that. So if you want to watch that one, we'll definitely link to it in a card and down below. The second most watched video was 8 Reasons Americans Leave Costa Rica. This is a video I published years ago. It's the most watched video on my channel. It has over 4 million views, so that video is still going strong. One of the top 2 videos on my channel for the year. And then the third video was how I see the US after living in Europe, which was just my reflections of coming back to the US after living in Europe. So I'm glad that you liked that one as well. That was one of my favorite videos. The least watched video on my channel was about healthcare in Costa Rica, which was kind of a vlog style video that I filmed of myself going to the hospital in Costa Rica and going to the dentist and showing you guys what it's like, how much it costs. Very few people seem to care about that. I actually lost subscribers on that video. It received 5,400 views. And I believe I have negative subscribers. Let's see. -6 subscribers over the past like 6 to 8 months. So I guess you guys don't really care about either the cost of healthcare in Costa Rica or my medical problems. So no big deal. The most underrated video I think of the year, like one of my favorite videos on the channel, was the Christmas markets video. I've been wanting to make this video for probably 3 years, and I finally did it. I spent so much time reading about Christmas markets and almost published this video last year, but didn't get it done. And then I think the editor did such a good job on this video. I've watched it 5 times, and it just makes me feel so cozy, and I just love the music, and I love the atmosphere and the video. And everyone who's watched it really likes it, and everyone who commented and sent me messages about it. But it has less than 8,000 views. So I guess, the algorithm didn't like it or people didn't like it, but we're not going to take it personally. And then my runner-up, worst performing video of the year, technically it was a little bit over a year ago, but 100 places to travel in the world. This one really, I can't even tell you how many hundreds of hours I spent on that video, researching places, deciding which 100 places to cover in that video, recording, writing the script, recording the voiceover, reviewing the edits with the editor. That video took me probably 18 months to make, and it totally flopped. It has less than 10,000 views, and I've changed the thumbnail a million times, and I love watching those really long videos about all the places you can travel in the world, but apparently you guys prefer the shorter videos, top 10, so I guess we're not going to do any more 100 places videos. Yeah, maybe top 20, I don't know, but we'll keep it short and sweet. It's no problem. Let's talk business. Well, this was probably the busiest year ever for my relocation business. So I've been helping people move abroad since 2005, so 20 years ago. But I've also been doing it full-time since 2011. So I used to do it part-time with real estate, and then I quit real estate in 2011 to do relocation full-time. So way before, the pandemic and things like that. During the pandemic, and then since with all the political turmoil, it's become a much broader topic that I know a lot of you are interested in. So behind the scenes, when I'm not making videos, what I do day in and day out, pretty much 5 to 6 days a week, is work on relocations. So this year we helped 76 people / couples / families with their relocations, and the top 5 countries that our clients moved to were Spain, Portugal, France, the Netherlands, and then it's a tie for Costa Rica and Mexico. So I'm really proud of that. We've received thousands of inquiries this year, but if you've ever thought of moving abroad, you know that it might not be the exact right time for you to move. When you're thinking about it and you're researching it and inquiring about it, sometimes it's very common to spend many years pondering this idea of moving abroad, or even years researching how to do it, or going on exploratory trips, or reading Google and forums and watching YouTube videos. So it's a process. So if you reached out to me this year and it wasn't the right time for you, maybe next year, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, hopefully I'll still be here, and we'll see. Helping so many people and also growing our team. There's 5 of us working full time, and we have people in all of the countries around the world that we work in. So it's been a big job. Probably my proudest accomplishment for this year is just helping so many people move abroad, in many cases under very short time limits. People that wanted to move within a month or a couple months. Another huge highlight and proud moment of the year was finishing my second book, Moving Abroad for Dummies. So Digital Nomads for Dummies came out in 2022, and Moving Abroad for Dummies came out in 2025. And writing a book is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. So to be able to write 2 books in 3 years was a big accomplishment for me. And I just want to thank all of you who have read the book, who have shared the book, who have left reviews on Amazon or wherever you bought it. We have it on my bookshelf right here. So that was definitely a high and a low of the year, because it was a very stressful time, writing the book and reviewing and editing the book at the same time of everything else going on. And that actually leads me to one of the low points of the year, which was letting my podcast go. So I had my podcast since 2019. We had almost 400 episodes. And when I published my first book, I quit YouTube for 6 months because I just couldn't do everything. I felt like I didn't have enough creative output to do the book and the videos at the same time. And this year, I didn't want to quit YouTube, so I decided to quit the podcast temporarily. And now it's been over a year that we haven't had the Traveling with Kristin podcast. So I would like to bring that back. I'm just trying to find the window of time to be able to go back to interviews and producing that podcast. So let me know if you missed the podcast in the comments below, and maybe we can bring it back for 2026. Speaking of, personal life, so we'll talk about my challenges and struggles in a minute, but from looking at the life categories, like with health, health is wealth. And I feel like my health has been pretty good this year. I did make that video about going to Costa Rica for this numbness in my leg that I still have, and it's actually getting worse. Something is not right. I think it's probably from being in front of the computer all day or sitting all day. So I did get a walking path, like a little treadmill that goes under my desk, and I try to use my standing desk a lot of the time. But in general, I just think the lifestyle of sitting or standing in front of a computer screen all day is not good for us. Sitting is the new smoking. So I've been struggling a lot with that. And I know a lot of my clients that want to relocate, everybody wants to go someplace that's walkable, so you can get out and about and you don't have to be sitting in cars all the time. So that's something I'm looking forward to in Europe, is hopefully being in a really walkable area where I can be more mobile and less time spent just in my office all day. I think I mentioned in another video last year that I went vegan about 2 years ago now, so I'm still vegan. That's still going really well. I feel really good. I went to the doctor, got my checkup, blood work, everything's good. So we're good there. My family's good. My parents have retired. They've been traveling a lot. My brother and sister are healthy. My sister's doing a little bit better since her situation. My nephew and niece are doing well, so super grateful that everyone's doing good. My brother's getting married this year, and so that's one of the reasons that I'm waiting a little bit to go back to Europe. But yeah, that's good. I've been going a lot to yoga, Pilates, also walking a lot. I would say those are like my main hobbies. One of the things I see, like whenever I'm searching for stuff online, people often Google like traveling with Kristin boyfriend or traveling with Kristin husband or traveling with Kristin husband net worth, things like that. So I figured I would address that in this video, because also I mentioned before that I was in a serious, semi-serious relationship last year, a long distance relationship that ended earlier in the year. So it was a shame, but it was for the best. All good things must come to an end, as they say. So I haven't really spent much time on that this year. I would say that hasn't been a big priority. I've been really focused just first and foremost on my relocation clients, on the channel, on my health and wellness, and haven't really delved back into the world of dating. So no husband yet. Another thing I've been working on in my free time is music. So I did start releasing songs that I made, electronic music songs, in the past year. So that was fun, and it's taken me 3 years of tinkering with that to be able to make songs, but that's really fun. The only problem is it's also something that I do on the computer. So it's like after work, going back on the computer to use software to make music is a very much more screen time. So that brings us to our struggle section. I would say screen time and burnout are like two of the biggest challenges for me in the past year, and the biggest things that I want to change for this year. There's commonly days that I'll work or be on the computer for 12 hours, 14 hours sometimes. So I want to really try to put more buffers on the time that I'm working, because I love what I do. I love my life. I love my channel. I love our community. I love helping people move abroad, and I want to do this forever, as long as I can, and continue with the channel and everything. But I also realize that working full-time during the week and then working on YouTube on the weekends and just being on the computer all the time is not the best for your health and wellness. So I'm making a conscious effort to try to take more days off this year and stop working at a reasonable time, as we work in a lot of different time zones. So I'm always waking up early to talk to people in Europe, and then my team is also on Pacific time, so that's 3 hours behind East Coast time. So I basically feel like I'm working all the time and then catching up on videos and things on the weekends. So that's been a challenge for me. Yeah, also the relationships thing, that breakups are hard, and I went through that. If you listen to my podcast, you would have heard this like 2 or 3 years ago that I went through a breakup. It was actually with the same person. So we did 2 breakups a year apart. Sometimes you don't learn your lesson the first time. So that was the same, that was the same person. And then the other struggle has really been with my move. So I wanted to move back to Europe in November. I postponed it to January, February. And then now it looks like it makes the most sense to just wait until May. So I made a video that I was like, no, I'm moving in February no matter what. I do have some business conferences and events coming up, and it's the busiest time of the year for helping with relocations because people all want to move, by the end of 2026 now. So we're really planning 6 to 12 months ahead for relocations. So my plan is to move back to Europe in May, but it has been a struggle to just find time for when to plan my own move abroad. So my goal for the year is to increase the number of videos that we publish on the channel from 50 videos or 43 last year to double it to 100 for this year, because there's so many topics that I want to share with you and talk about. I hired a full-time editor named Jovana. She's living in Serbia, so shout out Jovana. She's been with us for a couple months now. She traveled with me throughout Spain, and now that I'll be living in Romania, I'll be a lot closer to her so we can film a lot more. And yeah, so I'm excited for publishing more videos for you guys. Also excited for our new Spain series here. We're starting with 3 different cities in Spain, doing mini documentaries about living there, and really looking forward to visiting more of our relocation clients in France and Portugal and Italy, and who knows where else people will be moving in the next year. Also, my goal is to learn Romanian. The whole point of going to Europe and moving back is to try to get my citizenship through descent in Romania, which I've talked about here on the channel. We have a playlist about that as well. So focusing on learning a 3rd language, so be English, Spanish, and Romanian, potentially Hungarian as well. I don't know if I'll do that this year, maybe next year. That will be a big focus for the year, and that's a huge goal, to learn another language if you've ever wanted to learn another language. So I'll link to Rosetta Stone, which is really helpful, in the comments below. They don't have Romanian on there, but they have a lot of other languages, 25 other languages, not sponsored or anything, but it's something that I use in between to just keep up with my Spanish skills, to help with my pronunciation and things like that, because I am living in Miami and surrounded by Spanish. So talking and conversation is one thing, but when you're, learning the grammar and making sure you're saying words correctly and things like that, it's helpful to have these type of tools that you can do at home. As far as travel for this year, my actual goal is to travel less and to travel shorter distances. So once I get to Europe and I'm in Romania, I would like to go visit our clients in France for sure, maybe go back to Spain, maybe go to Portugal. And I would like to see some places that I haven't been before, like Switzerland. I've always wanted to go to, so I'd like to go there. And also Albania, I haven't been to since 8 years ago, and it's really growing in popularity. So I'd like to go back there and check out Albania, maybe go back to Serbia. So that's on my bucket list for this year. Nowhere very far away or exotic and a different hemisphere or a different continent, just kind of stay in the European continent and do some more short haul flights. And another personal goal, in addition to spending less time on screens, what to replace that time with? Well, there is a concept called the artist date that became really popular in the Artist Way book, and that's basically taking yourself on a date every week. So I want to do more of that, whether it's going outside and reading a book in a park, or going to the beach, or going for a walk. Just having something that you do for yourself, maybe going to the movies, maybe having a Netflix night in, something like that you can do just for you is really important for your overall well-being. And also, I do contribute to a lot of different causes, from the environment to human rights, refugees, animal welfare. And I've really been thinking about ways to consolidate that instead of, donating a little bit to a lot of different organizations, identifying one cause that I really want to support. Refugees has been something I've supported for 15 years now, like the Women's Refugee Commission, the UNHCR. There's a lot of different smaller organizations as well. And I feel like as people who are able to travel freely for tourism reasons, for fun, move abroad for quality of life, that is something that I feel is really important to support with people who don't have that choice, who have to leave their country for security reasons, economic reasons. So that's something I'm thinking very deeply about this year. So let me know what your goals are for the year. I love reading your comments. Also what you'd like to learn and see and hear from me on the channel. If you'd like help with your relocation, you can scan the QR code or go to travelingwithkristin.com/relocation and click here to watch my 2 favorite videos of the year next.